Possible solutions, because you're in that sector, you know how some of these things happen, and of course, when you talk about solutions, yes, they may have talked about one or two there, but what do you think can be done to stop this?
I think it has to involve everybody, right from the top government officials down to the local villager, because the police alone cannot do it. They need information from people that are close by nearby. The SS cannot do it alone. So I think there have to be a collaborative effort between governments, state governments, through which these pipelines pass, the PPMC, IPMAN, the host communities. They have to meet, and then sit down and fashion out I'm not amused when there's a disagreement about who plays what road, who plays this road. That is not what we want. Is that we want us to really come together and then have a nice meeting so that we can solve this problem. It's a big challenge to us. We cannot surrender to vandals. We cannot allow them to intimidate us.
One of the things that strikes one in that report are the questions that the correspondent is asking. He says, who are those who patronize them?
Yeah, of course, people will always patronize them.
Are the people, you're wondering, is it that there's an unofficial petrol station, or is it that these things actually go to petrol stations, or how exactly?
Apart from IPMAN members, we have major marketers. We also have a third force. Those are their own outlets, and they are not under IPMAN, so I don't have control over them. And then
what's that third force?
Those who build stations and then refuse to join IPMAN. So we don't have control over them. And then those who sell along the road, go to Lagos by the expressway, you find them with jerry cans. Can the law enforcement agents,
does that, you think it has something to do with?
Of course, where do they get the products? Questions should be asked. Where do they get these products from? Because they sell cheaper than the filling. So definitely it cannot be from the filling stations, because they sell cheaper than the pump price. So these are questions that could be raised. But there's a lot of impunities in this country. Anybody just put cake down and say nobody asks questions. From the top government officials to the down, there's a lot of impunity that we have to stop. Because we cannot continue losing money in this fashion.
But haven't you heard people say that, look, they think, in fact, some of them strongly suspect that at least some IPAP members will be involved in this?
No. They have done various investigations. No IPAP member has been indicted. I can confirm that to you. We are very disciplined, set of people.
Because the argument is that, since this subsidy payment is, they're going about it, some of them say it's very slow, some IPMAN members, and as a matter of fact, they also think that maybe you could suspect.
No, you are getting it wrong, because you are missing it, because when you talk of subsidy, IPMAN members do not enjoy that. We don't enjoy that. We are talking of local importers of, petroleum products, but not IPMAN members. There's a division between IPMAN members and then the depot owners. Those are depot owners. They are the ones that are talking about subsidy.
Have you witnessed a reduction in membership since that subsidy probe?
No.
Nationally?
There has been an upsurge.
There's been an upsurge?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. There's been an upsurge.
That's serious. How come?
Because the country is so big that you need more filling stations to cater for people. More cars are coming in every day. My own children will ride the car, your own children will ride cars. So there's need for more filling stations to cater for all these, demands.
But the reason that they keep giving, because you talked about so many agencies that are involved in this.
Definitely.
And so the average person in the community might think, look, what's my business with all of this? You have 5, 6 government agencies and they can't secure the pipeline and the right of way. Who can?
No, we can't leave them out in the...
But they have the resources, they're set up to do all of those. And so the average person who doesn't have those resources and who doesn't even know what's going on.
Even in developed countries, where people give information to security agencies, we have to involve them. There should be an enlightenment program. Enlighten them on the question of what they are doing to the economy of this, because it's going to affect them directly or indirectly. So you have to involve them, as informants, to give information on all these things. You have to. It's not what you can do without information.
Tell us what happens when one of the pipelines is shut down and you cannot get supplies.
You witness what happened. There was hardship. There was dislocation.
Yes, but how does that affect your business?
It did affect our business because we borrow money from the banks, at prohibitive interest rates, and we pay interest per second. So if we are not selling, how do we get money? How do we pay the banks? And the banks, at the end of the month, there are some overhead costs that you cannot shift. Salaries, utilities, bills, bank interest. You can't shift whether you sell or not. You have to pay all those bills.
So how do you make it up? I mean, that's supposed to be a trade secret.
It's just we depend on God. We look forward to God to help us. There's nothing you can do if it happens like that. What can you do? In business, that's one of the risks that's involved in business. You gain some, you lose some. That is life.
So if this continues,
we hope that's why IPMAN is involved. Because and that's why we have been involved. For the past 30 years. Because even though the relationship between us and PPMC is that of commercial, because they bring products and we buy. But we are not limited ourselves to that because we believe that these are public assets that are located in our domain. And the people of Southwest are profited from it. In terms of it has created employment for people. Go to the depot when the depot is active. You find people selling pure waters. Everybody trying to make AK out a living. So, and
Why do you think vandalism is on the rise? Because it definitely has been on the rise, at least in the last 1 year. Why do you think it's on the rise?
Because it's profitable. A tanker load is almost 3.5 million. If you get that within a day, that's big money.
And vandals get it within a day.
Of course, if you go and you are not caught, and you load a tank load of product.
Well, the question is, when we asked, how do you think that these things are distributed? You said that, you see people with kegs on the roads. And do you suspect non-IPMAN members?
I've told you that IPMAN members are not involved. We can't go, when we have sessions, we can't go to the road and start selling. We don't do that. It's not possible. They have done a lot of investigations. IPMAN members, non-IPMAN members.
Yeah, but has IPMAN done investigations?
We have done that.
Itself?
We have a way of control ourselves internally. We have done that. IPMAN members not involved.
What about externally?
What do you mean externally?
Do you have a way of spying on non-IPMAN members?
It's not our duty to do that. It's not our duty to do that.
But when your business is under threat, constantly under threat.
What we can do is to assist in surveillance of the pipelines. We cannot go to institutions and ask, on what authority will we be doing that? You can't go to a station and say, where do you get your, well, you can assist in the maintenance of the integrity of the pipeline so that these lines are not vandalized at will, so that our business can be sustained. You can do that, but you cannot go to a station and say, where do you, is the work of the security.
Do you suspect that there could be a mafia of sorts behind this?
I don't know what you mean by mafia, but
it's the common word is cabal. Do you suspect that there could be powerful people behind this, and that's why it's on the increase, and it's difficult for security agencies to clamp down on them?
I don't know. Anything is possible, but I don't know.
But
anything is possible, like I said, but it's a syndicate. I know.
From your suggestion, this syndicate knows very much about the same industry. If the tanker is 3.5 million,
yes,
you have to have that tanker to do it.
Of course. But how long does it take to buy a car when you make that money every day? So it's attractive, it's lucrative. So and that's why we have to stop it. It's on the rise. We are not you can collect in the last about 1 year ago. We still pray that Western Zone is the only zone that does not have this incessant line breakages, because for the first time in the history of Ibadan depots, but the depot has never been shut down for a single day since the depot was created. It was established in 1978 until this Arepo issue. So because we have done a lot, in surveillance of the pipelines, we have been involved. We have made funds available.
To who?
To ourselves. With every depot has a surveillance committee, and we make money available to them to go down, and we have caught a lot of them. But when we catch them, it's either they're not being prosecuted, it's either they're granted. So I think if we are talking of a solution, we have to involve the judiciary too. Because when there's no punishment for misbehavior, the incentive is for you to go on and and start doing it.